Hello and welcome to another episode of AMOI Unplugged, Exploring Diversity, a show that focuses on the efforts and milestones geared towards the diversification of our nation's economy. I am Chioma Ikejiani. Thank you for joining me. Agriculture, disaster management, national planning, communication, and more importantly, surveillance and security. What do all these have to do with a satellite in space? To answer this and more is the Director General of the National Space Research and Development Agency, Dr. Halilu Ahmad Shaba. It promises to be a galactic interview. You're watching AMOI Unplugged, Exploring Diversity. Welcome to AMOI Unplugged, Exploring Diversity.
Thank you so much.
I know you're busy. You're so busy. So I find it quite a privilege to have this moment to talk about the space environment.
Yes.
And as usual, I think the first question I'd like to ask you is, what was your vision when you became DG? When you look at the vision of the agency, its mission, its mandate, and its objectives, talk to me a little bit about sitting on that seat and looking at the responsibility that you are now handling and some of the things that you felt that needed to be done. But first, the vision. What was your vision?
This is I see my vision is a research environment that touches on every Nigerian, either directly or indirectly, but it should have touch. I see a space agency that is people-driven, people-oriented. Socio-economically, it should provide that impact. And we have everything it takes. We are privileged to be where we are because we have every government giving us that support to grow. We have built capacity and we are still in the stage of building capacity. Now we are at the stage of showing what that capacity can do. And I believe that, for example, from the legacy of providing banks up to the rural areas, to the legacy of providing information to a farmer who is on the land through a proxy like Ministry of Agriculture, to the extent of providing necessary information when it is needed, and then to support digital economy that we're talking about, because that is where transparency stands from. That is where economy is paying to grow. That is where the young will also get, because the young is tech savvy.
Absolutely.
And until you find something that relates to that technology, he doesn't see it. You do, because if you are saying go to the farm, you must prove that the farm is there to provide enough benefit and then enough resources for him.
So I think what you're looking at is, it's going to go into my next question, which is giving an overview of the power of space technology and its application as a tool for actualizing sustainable development in a development country like Nigeria. I think this is that power that
Yes.
you're saying. So if we're 65% of a population that really looks at the youth,
Yes.
then for you, space technology is something that the youth can seize.
Look at everything is on the internet. Even the local mind is using data, sending this thing. A lot of transactions in millions are ongoing. It's not because you attach your phone to fiber optics. No, it's because space technology, most of these GSM are on space technology based on communication satellite. And that's where we are. Today, you may go into a very new environment. You don't even know the address of a place. You Google, and it takes you right there.
That's space technology.
Is taking you there. So everything is now depending on that. Navigation is depending on space. The Internet of Things depends on space. And we're in information age. Information, we say, is power. So information is driven by this technology. So, and that's why when you look at it, some of us are so passionate when we speak about space technology, because we see that Nigeria has everything to leverage on, but we need to come together. talk to the man in agric, talk to the man in works, talk to the man in transport, in environment. We have special purpose vehicle that you can use to take you to where you are.
But you know what's really interesting? As I'm listening to you, I remember a conversation that I had with a friend in preparing for this interview.
Yes.
And I said, you know, Nigeria has rockets in space, like we have satellites. And they said, beg, madam, leave that thing. I said, oh, no. We've actually, I thought it was 3, but it's actually 4.
Yes.
So for those that are watching this, walk me through how we were able to launch that whole journey that we went through.
Thank you so much. I think in 2003 we launched our first satellite in September. We call it Nigeria Sat-1.
2003.
2003. And that satellite was meant to spend 5 years in space, in orbit, but it spent 9 years in orbit. 9 years in orbit, sending data down to our ground station. Now, in 2007, we launched our communication satellite. If you go to the archive, there were more satellites lost in orbit than the one that were successful. But Nigeria was lucky. We launched communication satellite. It was there. It worked for some months. And then when we realized that there was a problem, it has to be brought down and deorbited because it could derail. Now, in 2011, we launched 2 satellites. One was communication satellite, which was a replacement of that satellite, which was lost in the orbit because it was insured. That's why we call it NICOMSAT 1R, because we have a name for our satellite. NICOMSAT, that is Nigerian Communication Satellite 1. So when we launched that of 2011, we didn't say NICOMSAT 2. We said 1R because it was a replacement.
Right.
But in the same 2011, we launched 2 Earth observation satellites. The Nigerian engineers were trained simultaneously with this. So because we have heritage in the building of Nigeria Sat-1 and Sat-2, as a practical, as they were building Nigeria Sat-2, they were having sleepless nights. You go there and build this, and now build Nigeria Sat-X.
And what was the result of all the hard work?
Now, that's where I'm going to take you. That was why we were able to launch the 2 satellites at the same time. Because initially, the satellites was to be built and kept. And then everybody said, look, it was built to flight standard. It can be in orbit. So it's another test for you to see how it performs in orbit. That was why we even had little delay to launch the satellite. So we now launched 2 satellites. Now we call it Nigeria Sat-X, unlike where we had Sat-1, Sat-2. Instead of saying Sat-3, we call it Sat-X. Sat-X means experimental satellite. And it's in orbit, and it's working. And that is, we have registered it. We've told the whole world loudly, boldly, that we can build satellite.
Game on, Nigeria.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about some of the policies. And has there been any new policies that are in place since maybe under your leadership that really gives you the strength to do what you need to do in terms of those collaborative efforts that you have with different agencies?
Okay. When you look at it, we have a policy trust. And the first that I think I want to comment about talking about policies, talking about the policy trust. And the policy trust is saying that to support the military in any way. What that means...
Okay, that is a policy trust.
Yes, that is the policy trust. What that means, Nigeria cannot be at war and I'm selling data to any country. Whatever interest another country has, the economic interest is not my interest at that moment, but to deal with the crisis home state. To also support disaster management and provide them information, to work in the area of environment, to develop, to help in the education, so that Nigerians are going to be aware of this. And that was why we went into tele-education, and then that's why we are supporting universities. If you look at it, the first 5 years, the first 10 years, we were working with the universities to develop capacity so that at least whatever it is, when it comes to about this era, you have universities that are strong in this area of geospatial and engineering. And then also from our mandate, because of the trust, after we develop a lot of people with a PhD, we also work with some universities, FUT, University of Abuja, to establish some courses so that you have people who are going to be dealing with other aspects of spin-offs. Because in the area of space science and technology, there are a lot of spin-offs that sprang from the development of satellite. Now, talking about our act came into existence in 2010. We've been struggling and working on the act. By now, it's
with National Assembly?
Yes. By now, it requests after 12 years of existence, where we've worked on it extensively. And we've reviewed it over and over again. We've reviewed our policy.
So that it can come with the times it is now.
Because when we started, there were things we didn't notice. So after the act was signed and then it became operational, we realized that, okay, we need some percentages. There are products. A lot of things will later depend on satellite, but you have to now make the act work. Now, there are regulatory activities with the act. We have a section C, K that said you can't buy the satellite data except maybe probably through the space agency or with the space agency. The idea is Nigeria is signatory to a lot of areas in the space arena. And in space law, what you have is there are no non-state actors. The state actors are the ones who are signatory to this. So if anything happened in the arena of space in Nigeria, the space community will speak to the state actors, which we are the state actors representing Nigerians. They will not speak to individuals. So since the regulatory activity is there, there is the need for us to talk to that regulatory activity so that the space is going to be safe for the future generation. And again, if you look at it also, in the area of data provision, the act where it comes in, it said provide data for this number of people. It gave us number of departments we are going to have, and it's also said how we are going to, who is licensing. And it brought a structure that made the president the chairman of the Space Council. So every year we want to report to the president that this is what we've been doing and this is where we have challenges.
And who is made up of the council? The president is the chairman?
The president, and you have other ministers like Minister of Finance, we have that of Education.
No, but that actually makes sense.
Yes. So, and then 3 key notable scientists. Notable scientists, you have one from the Association of Nigeria, Engineers Association. You have academic of science, and then any other person that is a renowned person that can speak to the larger community. So they are members of that. And anytime we have meeting, we say, this is what we've been able to do. These are some of our challenges.
I'm going to drill down more in terms of how satellites can give more usage and benefits. And I'm going to name 4 things. And we're going to start off with surveillance and security control.
Yes.
What are the benefits of the usage of satellites when you look at surveillance and when you look at security control? And I know you're smiling.
Yes, I'm smiling because if you look at satellite, it was originally military technology.
Okay, that's how it started.
Yes, it was meant for Third World War. They were preparing for Third World War, and then they want to have satellite in orbit so that you can monitor your enemy.
Oh.
And it's there for you, so that's why I'm smiling, because it was originally a military technology.
Okay.
We are in the military grade engineering area. So the idea is you want to now identify the strength of your enemy, where they are, what is carrying, the size, and you also want to identify, after seeing the location, what do I need? Then when you want to create reinforcement for the military, for the security forces, you also want to identify where will be the best. What are the advantages?
You mean satellites can do all this for the host country?
Yes. What are the advantages to the enemy? You have to remove the advantages to the enemy, create disadvantage before you can fight the enemy.
Are we using satellite effectively in terms of surveillance and security? Are we at that stage where we are well equipped to use the satellites?
I believe we are. And that is why you see now we have the Defense Space Agency.
Okay.
Yes, which is established, which is for
Oh,
the
I did not
military.
know this. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's there and it's existing because it's their agency and they are working very hard. So, and you
And what
know,
is its mandate?
the mandates are just like our mandates, but in the areas of
Defense and
defense.
security.
Yes. And
Oh,
security.
wow, that's
So
interesting.
yes, that is it. So they have that and they are working effectively. And because if you don't have that, even training will not be well structured and so on. So
I know you talked a lot about agriculture.
yes.
How is your agency working for the benefit of actually growing the output of agriculture?
Okay.
How are you collaborating?
Even last time we had a meeting because we are working with an organization in China to develop blockchain technology so that agricultural products can go anywhere in the world. We know we have problems. What are the problems? Some of our goods are not accepted outside and so on and so forth. So we are developing a blockchain technology from where the farmers start working to when it is time to go out of this country. You can easily tell which farm it comes from, whether it is organic or inorganic, a full database from the start to the end. And you already know what the customer is looking for. So you are going to work towards the taste of the customer. You don't have any rejection. Because if you look at it, Africa is going into trading in agriculture, but Nigeria is suffering. Do I have to take yam from Nigeria to Ghana before it is accepted in Dubai?
Exactly.
Why? No. But if we have blockchain technology, you already know this yam is from Nigeria. This is how it was grown. This is organic, and then you move that, and then it's virtually accepted. From where the person is receiving it, already you are seeing your customer on board. If you can give me 30 tubers or 1 million tubers, I'm willing to take them. And then you know you are working towards 1 million tubers. You have to bring that economy back home, the money back home, so that anytime the government taxes it, indirectly it's going to come back to the government. Now you have to also provide information to the farmers so that they know rainy season is going to be hard this time. And we work with NIMED, we work with NISA.
I was just about to come for disaster management.
Yes. So now you have to know, the farmer must know, because with infrared, a portion of of the image, if there is any severe stress or any stress to a crop, I see it 15 days before the farmer sees it. By the time the farmer will see it, he will only be managing damage control. That time, some will be safe, some will not be safe. So we work with Ministry of, and we keep telling them, it's not our mandate, but we can do this. So you have to build your mandate.
Right.
I am trained to use this, and I can do this for you, and it is for you.
So what you're providing is actually an opportunity for the farmer to be proactive.
Proactive.
So national planning, how does satellite, I mean, when I saw that, I said, what are the benefits of satellites with national planning?
Okay, I think that so much. Now government wants to improve road, where it goes to, where it comes from, where the crops come from,
Of course.
and then where it's going to. You want to be sure. Again, you want to set your priority so that you are not building roads when you are supposed to build hospitals.
Right.
So that you don't put road to where it leads to nowhere when you want road to the hospital. So that you want to choose for the people. Is it road they want or a rail? Now, all these are for national planning. Information is key. You must have adequate information before
in order
you
to
can
plan.
And NASDAQ cannot be the only key player because NASDAQ only has mandate to get information and share. We are a community of practice. So we have all the experts we extract. The data is not to be used by us, but by other stakeholders who are user communities.
And it's their mandate to do what they
Ours
need to do.
Yes, ours is to generate.
You know, it's almost a year. And I remember when I met you as a director, and again, now you're a DG. Just give me a brief about your short, medium, and long-term goals.
The short one is first to restructure the agency. We are research oriented and we should be research oriented.
Which means you have a lot of PhD holders?
Yes. And we shouldn't be talking, we shouldn't dabble into politics.
So institutional restructuring.
Restructuring. So we've worked towards that. Now, the medium term is now try to work with the resources available within the country and also working with people, public-private sectors so that you bring them into it.
And what are the challenges?
The challenges are,
are there
a lot of times we see funds and then I think the attention given to the space agency. Now, for example, if you develop spatial data, Europe is spatially intelligent. They know how to use maps. If you go to anybody in Europe and say, look, I want to go to so place, you say, can you move for 5 minutes and then go east, go south? Would you tell that in Nigeria? So you have to create that spatial aware community. So we have been training the university, training all the security outfits, training a lot of people. We don't have enough resources. That brings us to why we are thinking about science, technology, and innovation television, so that we create just spatially intelligent communities so that they can do this. We map with the communities.
You're looking at a space television because that just opens up so many things in my mind.
The last time we had interview, I told you we were trying to create a space television. Then suddenly we were lucky. The ministry created space science, technology, and innovation television, which is warehoused here.
Wow.
So we are now looking at how do we catch them young? How do we relate with the public so that when we do it wrong, they should say, no, that's not what we want. Yeah, like when you go to a restaurant and they cook and there is no salt, you say, give me more salt. So the public should be able to say, we want this. So you have to create that just partially enabled community. You have to, so that they will be able to digest that which is served. So you can see a lot of work needs to be done here. That's why I said second attention. Now you need a program that can knit into this.
So the president is watching this. What is the one thing that you can tell the executive branch that they can do to help you reach your mandate?
I would gladly want to say this because this is the truth. Everywhere in the world, space programs are president's program. Say, I want to achieve this and I want to use space. Like you said, I want to go to Lagos, I'm going by road or I'm going by flight. When you choose to use space technology to get to all your program, to knit them together, you are saying, I'm going by flight. So, and it's faster. So everywhere in the world, space technology is president's technology. It doesn't go through normal budget. The president said, look, I'm going to launch this. And that was what Obasanjo did. I want to launch a satellite in my period. So the president said, I'm going to launch satellite. Even in 2 years' time, it should be used by the military, it should be used by the farmers, it should be used by this. And then the president said, come, I'm putting my priority in satellite programs. I want communication, I want Earth observation. Then all the farmers should benefit from it. And you have a policy that unites all these things. So it's a president's program. And I'm to say, if you ask me to say one thing to the president, you say, okay, the myriad of Nigerian problems can be solved because there is information from the space technology. There is communication, there is navigation, there is meteorological, which talks about climate change. And if you can solve all these things, put all this information together, integrate them, and work with all others, I believe Nigeria is going to be a secured country.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. Need I say more? I'm sure you've enjoyed that interview. Till I come your way again, let's continue this conversation on my social media platforms. I am Chioma Ikejiani. Bye-bye and stay safe.